Hey guys, welcome back to the b8ta TV studio for another live episode of b8ta Insider. I'm your host Noelle, and today I'm so excited because my guest is Max Newlon, who is the president of FocusCalm. Now, FocusCalm is the company behind this headband. This is actually a piece of wearable tech, and I'm so excited to learn more about why Max developed it. This is really going to help you improve your overall state of well-being. And without giving away too many of the details, I'm going to bring in Max now. Again, joining us live from Boston, we've got Max Newlon. Hey Max, so good to have you here.
Hey Noelle, my pleasure.
Hey, so good to have you, like I said, and really excited to get into the conversation because this is a revolutionary product. I mean, truly, I've used it, and I gotta tell you, it's amazing what it's able to do for your mental well-being, just, improving your mood, improving your sleep. So many awesome benefits to it. Max, tell me a little bit about your personal background and how it landed you in the sort of neurotech space.
Sure. Growing up, even as a young person, I was always interested in the potential of people's minds. I was always interested in, what could people accomplish if they really train their minds in a particular way? So I ended up studying things like cognitive science in my undergrad, and then neuroscience research at some different hospitals in Boston, and eventually went back to school at Harvard to study human development and psychology. And along the way, I picked up these different understandings of things like brain training and meditation, and even practices like yoga, and how they tie into helping people develop. After Harvard, I found my way into this startup and joined this wonderful team of people. And the culmination of, I guess, this journey about how people learn, develop, grow, and improve their mental skills is what FocusCalm is. It's a culmination of this journey.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So how did you come up with the idea for this? Because there's not really been anything else like it before.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's kind of quintessential startup story. We developed our first generation hardware to be a really easy to use brainwave sensing headband. And we succeeded wildly at that. We succeeded so much that we had so many people using it for so many different applications, and we ourselves explored different applications, a lot in research to control, different toys or like race cars in the real world, to do applications in education. And one of our partners was using it for brain training specifically. And that partner, their company is called Formula Medicine, and they train all of the Formula One race car drivers and other elite level athletes. And we took a look at what they were doing, and it really blew us away. They were applying this technology in a way to help these guys are the best in the world at race car driving. And they were using our technology to train their minds to be more calm under pressure. So, going 200 miles an hour down this race car track, how can they help those drivers stay calm under pressure, be focused, and perform their best? And so our insight was, well, wouldn't it be interesting if we could provide that same type of training to anyone that wanted it in a really easy to use wearable and app? So we took the principles of the brain training that these elite level athletes were doing, we combined it with all the other research that we had done, and created this really simple platform where people can do that type of training at home.
Mm-hmm. I think we've got some photos too. I want to show people of those athletes kind of wearing the headband. So there you see the headband. It's got to be sweat proof, right? I mean, there's
yeah. The sweat can actually improve the connection between the headband and the user, luckily.
Oh my gosh, wow. And honestly, Max, it's so funny because I believe, I'm not really a Trekkie myself, but I know that there is a device that's depicted in Star Trek in the series that looks very similar to this. This is very much a product, I think, of the future.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. We can imagine what the future might look like and help people achieve really specific goals that are important to them. And so when people think about the future, they see the headband, they go, "Oh, that looks pretty futuristic." We take that as a compliment because we are looking towards the future in terms of how we can help people using technology in the most accurate way possible.
And speaking of helping people, you kind of touched on this, but why did you
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
this piece of wearable tech?
The timing was really interesting. Um, in early 2020, so this is about around January, we had seen what the guys in Italy were doing with the Formula One drivers. We're really impressed,
Hmm.
and we're thinking about how can we use our technology to solve real problems for people around the world. And the one of the ideas that floated to the top was stress. Right, these Formula One drivers, they're learning to control their stress so they can feel better and perform better. And again, the insight was, well, wouldn't that apply to everyone? So this is in January,
Hmm.
and then the pandemic hit, and it's easy to imagine how that reinforced this idea in our minds that stress is affecting so many people's lives. And I think the pandemic also made it clear that stress is not just stress. Stress means that your relationships start to change.
Hmm.
It means that your focus starts to change. It means that your time at work and at home starts to change. It's so paramount to getting things done that are important to us and also feeling good, obviously. So
Hmm.
we zeroed in on this application of our technology to help people with stress. But what ended up happening was we realized it's more than just helping people with stress. We figured out we can use this technology for all these really specific scenarios that people encounter, like sleep, like stress that
Yeah.
comes from work, or the transitioning between work and home life. And what we ended up doing was building this platform that addresses all these different variations. So we had this vision at the beginning, and it ended up becoming something even more. And now, now we look at FocusCalm as this, brain training platform that can help you achieve this optimal state of well-being, no matter what you're doing in your day. If you're an elite level athlete, if you have a stressful job, or if you're someone who's just interested in enhancing their own wellness and
Hmm.
mindfulness.
I think there's a common misconception out there, one that I've bought into quite a bit, that you really have to make kind of these extreme lifestyle changes in order to achieve a more a calmer state of being, or a more simplified lifestyle that can then reduce your stress. But really, I mean, with a product like this, it's so easy to achieve in just really a couple minutes a day. That's all you need to carve out in order to feel better. You mentioned training your brain. What does that mean exactly, to train your brain?
I was thinking about the best analogy to describe it, and this is pretty close. When you learn to ride a bike, at first you're not very good. Maybe you're losing your balance a little bit, but then as you start to pick up this skill, you get better and better. And actually, your brain changes as you learn the skill. It's the same with any skill. As you learn a skill, your brain is actually changing in its structure and function to reflect that skill that you have learned. And the same is true for brain training. What we're doing is giving people a way to train these skills of focus and relaxation. And just like if you learn to ride a bike and then you take a break for a while, you're still going to know how to ride the bike. The skill stays with you. So when you do brain training with Focus Calm and you're doing these practices, we recommend 15 minutes a day. You do these practices, those benefits stay with you because you're actually rewiring how your brain responds to stress, and you're enhancing these skills of being able to stay calm under pressure and enter that mindful, calm, relaxed, and focused state on command.
Mm-hmm. Max, in doing my sort of research about the product and using it myself, I've actually you've given me a new favorite word, which is electroencephalogram. I hope I'm saying that
You
correctly.
are.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Well, it took me a couple of tries to really get it down, but it's my new favorite word. Now I don't really know what it means, but I'd love for you to tell us and tell us a little bit about the tech behind the headband here.
Certainly. So let's start with the most simple piece of this. You have a brain. You are listening to this. You're able to listen to this because you have a brain. And your brain gives off electrical signals. In fact, the brain cells, your neurons, you have about 100 billion of them. And one way that they communicate is through these small electrical signals that they send to each other. That's how information gets passed. That's one way that information gets passed in your brain. Those electrical signals actually emanate from your brain and make their way to your forehead and your scalp. So right now on your scalp, there's these really subtle electrical signals. And if you've ever seen a picture of someone with a bunch of wires coming off their head, either in research or maybe a hospital, that's that same EEG technology. And what it's doing is detecting the natural signals that your brain gives off. And I think it's important to point out that it's a passive measurement. It's kind of like a heart rate monitor for your brain. So it's just picking up what your brain's naturally giving off. There's never anything going into your brain. And based on those signals that your brain's giving off, we can tell what cognitive state or brain state you're in. So we're looking at thousands of features per second that your brain's giving off, all these little signals, and we compare it to our model of what a really relaxed brain looks like, or perhaps what an active or maybe even stressed brain looks like. And from that model, we give you a score. A really high FocusCalm score, which would be close to 100, means your brain looks really relaxed. And a lower score, closer to 0, means your brain looks active or maybe even stressed. And through the entire experience in FocusCalm, what we're helping you do is train to control that score. We train you to strengthen basically that muscle that can increase your FocusCalm score. And in the app, which I think we'll see in just a minute, you do the training, and in real time, you can see your brain activity changing. It's really empowering to understand that you're in control of this score. You're in control of your brain state. And by doing this training, you get better and better at entering that relaxed and focused state.
Amazing. And Max, I know you have a headband there with you, and I just want to point out, so it's these sensors here, which I don't know if people can kind of see them. This is what sits on your forehead, and that's what's measuring all that activity, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and I'm going to put it on right now so you guys can see.
Just like that.
Look at how cool this is. It's so cool. I mean, honestly, Max, I think you've created a new fashion statement as well.
I hope
helping
so.
people.
If we've done anything, that would be it.
Yeah. Well, let's hear about how it works. I know you've got a video to show us.
Yeah.
So kind of walk us through how the headband pairs with the app and how it all works together.
Yeah, we can take a look, actually footage from my phone. We can see the app in action. So you can see my FocusCalm score in real time and all the different types of trainings that we have available on the homepage for different type of outcomes that people are looking for. And we pair different guided meditations, different breathing exercises, or even soothing stories that you can listen to that teach you how to relax your mind. And you can see your score, your FocusCalm score, change in real time. Then we reinforce that ability through our calm games. And in our calm games, for example, the more you relax, the faster the race car will go, or the higher the rocket ship will go, or you're doing like a paint by the numbers with your brain. These all strengthen your ability to relax. And then we challenge you to stay calm under pressure by targeting different executive functions, like your working memory, your sustained attention, decision-making, etc. And finally, we package all of those things together into 15-minute programs to help you do things like fall asleep more quickly, wake up with a positive mindset, prepare for different types of performances in work or sports. And over time, you can see how you're improving by doing this training. So we have detailed analytics about how you're improving at these different skills. And finally, in addition to the data, we also have some ways for you to explore different aspects of your wellness, or even just experiment with your brain activity. So our tracker allows you to measure your FocusCalm score over time, and you can put different tags or notes about what you were doing so you can experiment and see what your brain activity was like while you're doing anything, your own meditations, working, really anything like that. And I also wanted to make sure that I showed you guys one game in particular. It's my favorite game. It's called Cave Quest, and I'll give you a sense of how this whole thing works. So in Cave Quest, the more you relax your mind, the faster that rocket ship will go, and then you're using your finger to steer it out of the way of the obstacles. And so what we're trying to do is put people in that state of flow, where they have to relax their mind, but they also have to navigate a situation. And this is about taking things beyond just meditation. So it's great to be able to relax, but what we want people to be able to do is apply that in more real-world scenarios. So the games that we have reinforce your ability to stay calm, but also will require you to use some sort of decision-making or your processing speed or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to be able to enter that state on command, even when the pressure is on.
Yeah. I'm such a huge fan of the games too. I think I mentioned to you earlier that I love the campfire marshmallow roasting game where you literally are roasting a perfectly, even side of toasty marshmallow with your mind. It's so much fun. And there's, of course, kind of this ambient, crickets chirping and things. You feel like you're around a campfire. And what's great too, Max, is that you mentioned the different programs, the meditation, and of course the games. And really there's such a variety there, and it's perfect for anyone, regardless of where you're at in your day. If you're getting up in the morning and you just maybe you have a long day ahead of you, if you need some calming, you can do a meditation in the morning or before bedtime or during your work day. And this is so great. I mean, this is so portable as well that you can really take it with you to work or wherever you're going when you need a little extra zen, or you just want to check in with yourself and see maybe where you're at in terms of your FocusCalm score. What have users been saying, and what are some of the results that you're seeing from users?
Yeah, it's two sides of this really great coin, both qualitative and quantitative results. So qualitative would be more things about how people feel. And a really good description that people can connect with is, imagine you're sitting outside, the weather is nice, and you're viewing a really beautiful sunset, and you're just taking it all in. You're calm and you're present. You're in the moment. That's that FocusCalm state. And when you do the trainings, that's the feeling that we're having you practice generate. So you can feel that calm and present moment and be in that brain state. So that's the qualitative side. And what we've seen from our research is also some things and benefits that you can measure. So for example, we've done research studies with companies and their employees, with elite level athletes, with everyday people. And what our research has shown is that after about 6 weeks of using FocusCalm for just 15 minutes a day, our users, according to these scientific measurements, are seeing things like a 25% boost in their well-being, according to the World Health Organization Well-Being Index, in addition to a 13% drop in their anxiety, and also a 21% decrease in their feelings of burnout. So not only does it just make you feel good, which of course is great, but we've actually been able to prove scientifically that with practice, you build on these skills and you see a real world outcome in your life as it relates to these things that are important to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like a lot of the times I tend to sort of measure how I'm feeling, or, if I'm stressed, if I'm not stressed, based on my heart rate, or just, I kind of check in with myself. But it's amazing when you use the headband. There have been times where I have felt, like, oh, I'm calm, and then I'll put the headband on and it's like, oh, actually my FocusCalm score is kind of low. I don't think I'm maybe as focused as I need to be. So it's just really interesting to see that sort of data that's all up here that we can't see, we can't really feel on our phones. Actually, we have a picture I just want to pull up quickly of just some photos of a user using it. So that's exactly how you wear it, and it's so easy. It's just the headband and the phone, and you are good to go. And charging is super easy as well too. Max, you mentioned pro athletes and kind of the following that you've gained and FocusCalm has gained from the athletic community, also from doctors and wellness experts. Tell me about kind of, how that's all come to be, and also how that makes you feel as, the president of this organization, to know that people like pro athletes are using your device.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the work that our team has done. And as a result of that work, we have pro athletes in basketball, baseball, weightlifting, archery, tennis, CrossFit. Who else? We have some Olympic teams in the U.S. and internationally that are working with FocusCalm, and also their performance coaches as well that work with these athletes. And the reason is they get it, right? They understand that their performance and their well-being is largely impacted by their mental skills and their mental well-being. It's not only going to make them feel better, it's going to help them perform better, both at sports, and what we've seen is also it converts to work as well, or just your daily living. In addition to those pro athletes, we also have some really great companies that are using it as an employee wellness solution, as well as just everyday people who are looking to deepen their own wellness practices or feel more focused or feel more calm in their daily life. So, the way that we think about it is it's kind of like a Peloton or a Tonal, where there's a piece of hardware, there's a software platform, and you can use it every day to do your wellness practice, right? We know that physical fitness is important for us. And now for the first time, you can get a similar type of training, but for your brain. And from everything that we've seen, it's providing these really significant improvements and benefits to people that use it.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite activities to do on the app is the Breathing as a Superpower program led by Dana Santos, who is a breathing expert.
Yeah.
And I think we've got some pictures of her as well using the device. And you mentioned that she recently had an appearance on CNN. Is that right?
Yeah, she's doing a whole series on well-being on CNN right now. And Dana's a really incredible partner that we have, and her content is in the app, so you can kind of learn from her expertise and how to breathe properly and how that impacts your brain activity and your whole physiology. So we really want to teach people these skills, and then we have this gamified approach so that you can practice them in this really entertaining way. I think it's important to recognize that a lot of people talk about meditation and the importance of meditation, and we have meditation in FocusCalm. It's a really important pillar of what we do. But there's so many ways to train your brain, and our goal is to provide people with this platform again that is the most complete way to train your brain for all these different types of benefits. And I think as people start to explore this space, they'll find the thing that fits them. Right? Some people love lifting weights. Some people hate it. Some people love running. Some people hate it. There's going to be physical exercises that people gravitate towards. And similarly, what we're finding and what we're providing is a way for people to explore to see what fits them, what's good for them. How can they train their minds and their brains for the types of outcomes that they're looking for?
Mm-hmm. Well, Max, here at b8ta, we're so excited to offer FocusCalm to our b8ta community. And I'm just amazed at how much you've been able to do in such a short period of time, really, coming out with the headband, you said back in January. Amazing, astounding story. And tell me about what we can expect to see from FocusCalm in the future.
Yeah. So, we hear a lot about the benefits of meditation. And again, I want to kind of revisit this topic because there's a ton of research that shows how beneficial it can be. Actually, before Harvard, I was in a research lab looking at the impact of meditation and yoga on the brain. So I'm really familiar with all the research, and it is really, really great. But our vision is to help people learn those skills. Again, meditation is certainly a part of FocusCalm. Learn those skills, but then learn how to apply them. How can we take them what's called off the cushion, right? You can imagine someone sitting on a cushion doing their meditation. It's great. How do we help people take that off the cushion and into their daily lives? So it's our vision that FocusCalm can be the daily tool that you use to get your brain into that optimal state for whatever it is you want to do. And in the future, and we're working on this right now, is an extra layer of personalization so that the product is meeting you where you are and is delivering the right types of tools that you need to succeed in the ways that are important to you. And part of this is also helping people understand themselves better. Imagine being able to learn about your own brain and your own mind every time you put the FocusCalm on. That's what it does. And so building out these personalization features, building out these self-discovery features, it turns into something more than just like a workout for your brain, which it certainly is, but it's a tool that helps you learn about yourself and get meaningful and actionable insights so that you can get the most out of your mind and really excel at the things that are important to you. And at the core of a lot of what we do, of course, is going to be our mind and our brain. And so with FocusCalm, you now have a tool where you can train those things and be targeted about what you're trying to train and measure and see those improvements over time. It's a really scientific approach, really engaging and gamified approach to getting those types of benefits that I think a lot of people want.
Yeah, Max, I got to tell you, I've used this before I go on camera, and it helps me so much just get in the zone, focus on what I'm going to say. So I am a huge fan as well. I'm really, really excited about the developments to come. Before I let you go, where can people go to learn more about sort of the research and about the company itself?
Sure. If you go to www.focuscalm.com, we have all of our content there, more about the science and the research, about the product, what we're working on, and links to our social media are on that website as well. So if people want to learn more, we actually are just launching an educational video series on Instagram to teach people more about these concepts. So if you guys are finding this conversation interesting, our Instagram is a great another resource to go to as well.
Awesome. Well, Max, thank you so much again for joining me here today.
Thank you, Noelle. Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us here as well. You can find FocusCalm over at b8ta.com and get yours today. Again, you guys, I'm a huge fan. I know you're going to love it as well. Leave some comments. Let us know how you like it. And of course, if you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us over at Facebook. We're making new content all the time. And I'll see you guys back here very soon again for more episodes of b8ta TV. Bye.